there, Pacer fans. I'm Brendan Robertson, and welcome to Inside Pacer Athletics here on the Pacer Sports Network. It's been an exciting first 2 weeks here at the University of South Carolina-Aiken as students returned to campus, classes started up, and our fall sports teams entered week 2 of their regular seasons. We'll catch you up to date on all the latest information regarding Pacer sports. We'll recap the action from the USCA Volleyball Invitational held right here in the Convocation Center, and we'll sit down with head volleyball coach Glenn Cox for a few minutes and get his thoughts on how the Pacer volleyball team has fared so far and what he expects the rest of the way. You've heard the phrase, a steady pace wins the race, but we're off to a full sprint here on Inside Pacer Athletics as we begin with the USC-Aiken women's cross country team as they travel to their second meet of the season at the Gamecock Invitational in Columbia, South Carolina. Saturday, September 5th, head coach Larry Milner and the Pacers finished second among all Division II teams at the Gamecock Invitational, a 5K event which took place at Hilton Field in Fort Jackson. The Pacers finished with an average time of 22 minutes and 43 seconds, finishing just behind the Savannah College of Art and Design in the Division II section. For the second consecutive week, senior Yanni Lynn led the Pacers, finishing fourth among Division II participants with a time of 20 minutes, 28 seconds. USC-Aiken will next compete in the Wingate Invitational in Wingate, North Carolina on Saturday, September 12th. Things get going bright and early at 9 a.m. Moving right along, the USC-Aiken women's soccer team made 2 trips to Anderson, South Carolina in as many days due to a little scheduling discrepancy, but it didn't faze head coach Sue Vodka and the Lady Pacers as they took on Anderson College Friday, September 4th at the AU soccer fields. The Lady Pacers picked up their first victory of the season with a 2-1 win over Anderson on the road. All 3 goals came in the second half as the Pacers netted both of their goals in a 7-minute stretch starting at the 70th minute mark. Allie Brady scored her first goal ever as a Pacer to give USC-Aiken the lead in the 70th minute when she jumped on a loose ball and sent it into the back of the net past Anderson goalkeeper Kelly Whitfield. USC-Aiken redshirt freshman Carly Minks scored what would turn out to be the game-winning goal just 7 minutes later as the Pacers held on for a 2-1 victory. On the men's side, that same day, the USC-Aiken men's soccer team nearly pulled off what would have been the biggest upset in school history, coming up just short here in Aiken at the Pacer Pit against 7th-ranked Lynn University in a 3-2 loss that was tight for all 90 minutes. USC-Aiken came from behind twice in the match to tie things up. Down 1-0 against the Fighting Knights, the Pacers broke down the Lynn defense as Fernando Gamez turned on a defender deep inside the 18-yard box and sliced the ball into the back of the net, tying the game at 1-all 10 minutes into the match. Kyle Conrad would put the Knights up 2-1 at the 19-minute mark as the Pacers found themselves down by 1 at halftime. In the second half, head coach Ike Afoji and the Pacers responded in the 57th minute as Zachary Davis blasted a one-timer into the upper 90 on a beautiful layoff from Troy Watson. Watson assisted on both Pacer goals in the match on his way to being named the Peach Belt Conference's Offensive Player of the Week. With the game tied at 2, Lynn midfielder Christian Donnert put the Knights on top for good with an unassisted goal in the 69th minute. The Pacers kept knocking on the door, looking for the equalizer, coming up just inches short away from tying the match on a shot from freshman Brett Van Pelt, but Lynn goalkeeper Alessandro Salvatore made a diving stop to swat the ball out of the net at the last second. The game came down to the last shot as the Pacers had a chance to tie it, but just couldn't get one into the back of the net. Both the men's and women's soccer teams begin their Peach Belt Conference schedules at home this weekend as they host North Georgia on Saturday, September 12th. Things get underway at 4 p.m. Now, it's time to tee it up with the USC-Aiken men's golf team. The Pacers were ranked 10th in a preseason poll recently released. USC-Aiken was one of 5 Peach Belt teams to be ranked in the top 25. The Pacers won 4 tournaments last year under head coach Mike Carlisle, who enters his 20th year at the helm of the men's golf program. Carlisle, of course, guided the Pacers to 3 straight national championships from 2004 through 2006. This year, the Pacers opened up the season by hosting the 6th annual Kiwa Island Invitational just outside of Charleston, South Carolina. The Pacers finished 6th in the tournament with a 2-day total of 590. USC-Aiken teammates Kevin Grady and Frederick Schultz tied for 9th individually, both finishing with a 2-day total of 145. The Pacers will now travel to Francis Marion for the Raines Development Group Intercollegiate. USC-Aiken has won that tournament 6 times, the last time coming back in 2006. Moving things indoors now, the USC volleyball team opened the 2009 USCA Volleyball Invitational with the win over previously unbeaten St. Andrews on Free Ice Cream Friday here in the Convocation Center. The Pacers were led in the match by freshman Lindsey Mortensen, who finished with a match-best 10 kills. Sophomore Jessica Loper finished the match with 8 kills of her own. The Pacers came up just short in their second match of the tournament on Saturday against a tough Florida Tech team that would go on to finish the tournament unbeaten at 4-0. With their regular season record standing at 3-3, the Pacers rallied to win their final match of the USCA Volleyball Invitational with a 3-1 win over Catawba on Saturday afternoon. Senior Lauren Cedeno was the Pacers' lone setter in the win over the Indians, finishing with a season-high 37 assists on her way to being named to the All-Tournament team. Pacer libero Samantha LaCrowley concluded the pivotal victory over the Indians with 13 digs and 2 service aces.